And little did I know that was kind of the initiation for robot fighting, is you have to bring something, you have to get it trashed, and then you are part of the group.
It was so great to see Zach prove that it wasn't a fluke the first time, that he actually, much like the Tombstone fight, read the book on Ice Wave and knew exactly how to defeat such an insanely destructive, insane robot.
Robot fighting was always very absolute, and either your idea is better than the other guys or their idea is better than yours, and you have to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. To have the recognition is heartwarming.
Today we're talking with Team Skorpios
On this episode of Behind the Battle.
All right, everybody, we're on with Zachary Lytle from Team Skorpios. What's going on, Zach?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad to be here with you guys.
Heck yeah, man. We were pumped to have you. Tell me how you got started in robotics.
I was a kid growing up homeschooled. Then one day on Comedy Central, I watched Backlash completely destroy Disposable Hero. And I fell in love that very first episode, that very first night. And I told my parents, I have to do this. The next day, I was taking all the copper out of the Christmas lights, trying to build my own motor. That year, the pumpkin spit fire. My parents were a little upset about that one. And it took me 5 years to finally create something and build something and get to a competition. In that time, I actually earned 2 associate's degrees at the local junior college, one in manufacturing and one in drafting, because that's what I needed to do to build and engineer a robot. And I finally got to RoboGames, the World Robotics Tournament. I had my first competition, and Jim Smitowski completely destroyed my first robot. I remember being really sad leaving that event, and Dave Wiley, another one of the competitors, came up and he slapped me on the back and he goes, "Congratulations, kid." I go, "What are you talking about? I lost today." And he goes, "Yeah, but when you walked in, you were just a robot builder. Now that all your toys are broken, you're a robot fighter. So welcome to the club." And little did I know that was kind of the initiation for robot fighting, is you have to bring something, you have to get it trashed, and then you are part of the group.
My next question was going to be what got you into BattleBots? But it sounds like BattleBots got you into BattleBots.
BattleBots got me into science and engineering. I was not a good student before I found this, and I was not doing well in school. But after I started pursuing this, when I realized in order to do the drawings, to make the parts, I needed algebra, and I really applied myself in math. And by the time I was 13, I actually was taking the college level algebra courses in order so I could get to the programming courses I wanted to get to. And I was doing this all as part of night school at the local Santa Rosa Junior College. Robot fighting was always very absolute. It was about expressing your ideas. You have a concept, you put it together with your own skills, and then it enters the arena. And either your idea is better than the other guys, or their idea is better than yours. And you have to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. And I always felt like robot fighting was the ultimate leveler. Everything was fair in the arena. There were no rules to bend. There was no interpretations. What happens in the battle box is just physics. And you cannot break the rules of physics.
Zach, you fought your way to the top of BattleBots Bounty Hunters in the Ice Wave bracket. You fought through Black Widow, P1, Hypershock, and finally a rematch against the legendary Ice Wave. What was that like for you?
That was a crazy, crazy ride. One of the big reasons we used the flamethrower in the Black Widow match was because all of season 5 records and then you record Bounty Hunters. We had lost one arm to Tombstone, and then we lost the backup arm to Witch Doctor. And so we were like, I guess we're putting the flamethrower on. We don't have a choice. And it was the first time we had ever run it. I actually dialed stuff back because this is the first time I brought a flamethrower to BattleBots. It was actually running at 30% of its capacity.
Yeah.
And
Gosh.
part of me watches the tape and like, man, I wish I cranked it up more. And then for P1, we didn't realize all the hammering with the pickaxe actually burned out the clutch and the arm.
Oh.
We finally got the hammer saw back together and working, and we put it back on the robot. And you'll notice when we punch P1, the arm just immediately ricochets to its back position. And it's not supposed to do that. It's because the clutch is dead.
Oh, okay.
Normally, Skorpios doesn't have a problem self-righting, but we got flipped over in the last few seconds of the match.
Oh, yeah.
And because we burned the clutch out with the hammer, because, it was designed to be a hammer saw, not a pickaxe.
Yeah.
The clutch was just wrecked. So,
oh my gosh.
for Hypershock, we made this special armor because we saw his configuration. We're like, he's going to do just what Witch Doctor did. He's going to try to ride up, hit the idler, freeze our weapon, and then win on points. Due to the fact that if you had Discovery Plus, you've already seen the bounty, everyone was like, why didn't you use your Hypershock armor against Witch Doctor? We didn't know that was a problem at that point, and we dubbed it the Demon armor with the big horns on it.
Yes.
And the arm still wasn't completely tuned right for that match, which is why it's still running weird, because we didn't realize we burned out both clutches, the one that's on the motor and the one that's on the weapon. We just replaced the weapon one. And we're like, it's still not working right. Quick, replace the other clutch. And when we start the Ice Wave match, everything in the arm is working properly. And then Ice Wave hits us. And if you watch the footage really carefully, you'll see this little tiny white piece go flying out of Skorpios. It's the chain tensioner. It keeps the chain on the sprockets.
Oh no.
So we get power from the motor to the weapon. And so it's falling on and off. And so that's why sometimes we hit Ice Wave and you just see the blade go dink, because the chain's not on it, so it's not really spinning. Chain clicks back on and it actually spins up, and we hit Ice Wave and we bury it 2 inches in his frame. It was a gauntlet. It really tested everything. And to do it immediately after fighting Tombstone and Witch Doctor, and the robot was in incredibly bad shape going into that bracket, it really was kind of a miracle we made it all the way to the end.
Zach, how did it feel to win this bounty?
It was an amazing way to end the tournament, because we showed up, we were a little bummed about the Witch Doctor decision, and we're looking at all the things like, we have to enter a bounty. We still have some spares. We could get the robot running again. It was honestly a really fun way. I hope they do Bounty Hunter again.
Yeah.
And I hope I get to participate, because I actually liked going through the mini bracket. I don't want to be the bounty boss. Just sit there and wait for something really nasty to come at you. They should really have a segment where the bounty bosses get to come in and like destroy a washing machine or a refrigerator. Not only would that be spectacular shrapnel, it would help them warm up for their main event match.
When Team Skorpios beat Ice Wave and made their way all the way through the bracket, Chris and Kenny zoomed in on them with the camera, and they just had an emotional breakdown because they knew that money could go towards their business. How did that make you feel?
Excellent. I mean, it's really good when you know that the very small amount of prize money, and BattleBots wishes it could be just $1 million prize money, right? But TV budgets are what they are.
Yep.
But just that it's going to go, it really, really makes a difference. Hey, it's great that the prize money can go to buy extra speed controllers and motors and all the things that broke. And that's usually what the story is. And that's fantastic. And that's completely needed. But the fact that it could actually make a material difference in maybe someone's company, that's their livelihood and their passion and their dream, makes it that much sweeter.
So you know about their business, Bot Bash Parties, that runs summer camps and birthday parties for kids.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of that?
They did my kid's birthday party.
What?
Yeah, like, I don't know, like 4 years ago.
Oh my God.
Son Henny, I forget how old, maybe Henny turned 10 or something. Yeah, and all his buddies came over, and Zach set up the arena right in the living room, and they all fought for like 2 hours, and Zach did the whole presentation, and it was awesome. It was great. And he brings it to BattleBots, and everyone plays it when they're just sort of there. Okay, I fixed my repairs. I don't have a fight until tomorrow. I've had my slice of pizza. Let's go play at Zach's mini arena, which is a lot of fun.
After this fight, you and Diana told Chris and Kenny about how this past year has impacted your business. Tell me about Bot Bash parties.
Well, Diana and I started this back in 2012. We actually did our very first party for a kid in 2011, and I was just doing a favor to a friend. I did not intend to start a business or a company, but at the event, other people wanted me to come out, and so we turned it into a full-fledged service. And as we were doing more and more kids parties, and I was seeing kids get more and more into robotics, we started having requests for classes, and then we started having requests for summer camps to build their own robot. We had so many summer camp requests, we just got a building in Lafayette, or we rented a building in Lafayette, set up a permanent classroom, and we had 3 summers of just kids as far as the eye could see coming in, having the best time. And I know I was doing something right, because kids would leave the camp and be like, can we sign up again? They're like, well, it's the same class. They're like, I know, I got to do it again. And it made us feel so good. I worked hard to make a completely indoor camp, and we actually had a lot of kids with allergies or health concerns who outdoor camps are difficult, come take our camps and our courses. But due to that, it meant we couldn't be open during the pandemic, and we actually had to close down that space. We stopped renting that unit, and we've packed everything up, and it's in crates in the back. It was really hard on us. We've used the company's savings to just pay for storage, and we haven't had much luck with the PPP or any of that. So we did start a GoFundMe, and we are using the bounty hunter money to help get us up and running again. Mm-hmm. And Diane and I are hoping 2022 will be back full swing, but it's been hard.
Greg, can I just get your explanation? What is the Founders Award?
So the Founders Award is something that Trey and I give out, right? So the Best Engineering Award, which is now the Grant Imahara Best Design Award, that's something the bot builders, all of them get together, they vote, and whoever the winner is wins that award. Yeah. The judges vote for most destructive robot, but Trey and I have our own special award, Best of Show award, called the Founders Award. And that's an award we give out to either someone who's massively innovating, like doing something just super cool, and taking the fighting and the engineering and the innovation of the sport forward, or they're maybe reaching out to the community and inspiring people in a really special way or new way, or creating extracurricular things you can do outside of the BattleBots fighting experience that's going to help bring more people to BattleBots or to robot fighting in general. And it's just someone who's pushing the sport forward. And we give it out every year. Recipients in the past have been Zoe for Chomp, and that the innovation there was, of course, using artificial intelligence for the first time to actually fire the weapon. And we all know it worked because that precise hit on Bite Force, only one to beat Bite Force. And this year, of course, Skorpios, because of their outreach to the community and creating schools and platforms for kids to learn about robot fighting.
Zach, this year, you and your team were chosen to receive the Founders Award for Excellence in the Robotics Community. What does this mean for you?
I will not mince words. Diane and I cried when we received this. I have spent my entire adult life trying to win the giant nut. And in a lot of ways, this actually has so much more meaning. Diane and I have, for the last 8 years, tried to help kids get into this, try to help kids build their first robot, and to have something that acknowledges our life's work, it meant and means the world to us. It has been a lot of very long nights and the show must go on. Like, you can't have the kids show up in the morning and be like, oh, we didn't get the robot running. Sorry, kids, no camp today. And Diane and I sacrificed so much to make the camps work, to make the classes work, and to have the recognition is heartwarming. It really does mean everything to us. Winning the Giant Bolt for excellence in the community actually meant more to me and Diana than winning the nut. Winning the nut, it takes three things. It takes an incredible robot, an incredible driver, and quite a bit of luck. And it's almost a little random who gets it. But this, Diana and I got for our hard work, not on Skorpios or in the arena, but for everything we've done outside of it. For all those late nights getting the camp running, for all of the time we were like, oh, the batteries in the kids' radios are dead. There's 8 per radio and 32 radios. We need to charge hundreds of batteries.
Oh, gosh.
And no one had ever made a camp like this. This camp didn't exist. When I was a kid and I wanted to learn this, I had to go get an associate's degree and invent everything from scratch. And I didn't want kids to have such a hard time the way I did getting into this.
Yeah.
It was incredibly fulfilling doing the camp. It was an insane amount of work. But to have something that recognizes everything Diana and I sacrificed, it really does mean the world to us. I do want to take a minute there's been a bunch of people who have really helped us with the camp.
Of course.
Greg and Krista, who helped us with all the different licensing and all the legal things we had to take care of before I introduced children to power tools. Ben, Adam, Leslie, Dan, Orion, Andy, all the people who come down and volunteered their time at the camp. Ethan, and Ben's Vex team. There was one day I had food poisoning, and I called them up and I'm like, I need some help. And the local Vex team came down to help us teach the camp that day.
Yes. Go Vex team.
Diana and I were stretched to the absolute limit, and every time those people came down to help us, it was like angels descending.
Zachary Lytle, this has been absolutely an amazing interview. I've learned so much about Bot Bash and what you guys are doing for younger generations of engineers. Your BattleBots career has astounded me and everyone else, and we are so excited to see what you guys do next season. So we'll see you later.
Have a wonderful day.
Join us next time for more exclusive interviews on the HEXBUG YouTube channel, and make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss a second of the action. Thanks for watching.